Welcome to this introduction. I've written copious notes. I've not done this in a long time, so please bear with me as I go through this. We've got half an hour together, just about. It's an introduction to a workshop series that I've put together that is going to be starting this time next week. And it's called The Art of Meditation and the Meditation of Art. If you've been following me at all, Atai-Wiechert of Energize Me here, you will know that I wear a few hats, and I'm a health, life and empowerment coach, and I've been doing coaching for quite a long time. So art has come into my life at a later time because I started as a nutrition and health practitioner doing nutritional consultation, Reiki, bioenergetics, all of that kind of thing. The wonderful thing about art, absolutely wonderful thing about being able to release emotions and feel lighter, feel joy, be able to deal with things like limiting beliefs and things. When you are using the creative tools of your innate creativity and whatever materials you have at hand, you'd be surprised at what can come through and how much better you can feel, especially if you're feeling stressed out. So whilst I'm waiting, I'm going to just give it a minute or two. I'm really excited to be here for you, to give you this little taster. So just to briefly explain, I'm going to take you through the description of what's coming up, what's actually involved, what we're going to be doing. But whilst I'm doing that, the second half of this, I'm going to give you a proper taste and experience of the kind of thing that I am going to be doing. But before we get properly started, I'd like to ask whether you have come with paper and colouring pencils. So whether it's just regular copy paper, that's absolutely fine. I have got my, somewhere underneath here, yes, here we go. I've got my Canson mixed media paper here. And this is great. It's great for watercolour. It's great for just colouring. Pastels, you can use all sorts of materials on it. And it's inexpensive. You can order it on Amazon or get it at your local art supply store. So I've got my paper. I have got, what I brought with me today are some watercolour pencils, and these are great, and again they don't need to be expensive. So these are just some big kids ones that I had bought when I was doing a children's birthday party, and we had a really fun time doing that. So I see that somebody has joined me, and if I just check the laptop, let me see who's come in. Hello John, lovely to see you. That's really great. Okay, super. So I'm just going to give it another 30 seconds, see if anybody else joins us. But if you've got some colouring pencils or some felt tips, I've just got my ordinary Crayola felt tips here as well. And some paper. And we're going to be doing some meditation as well in a little while. But let's just give it another few seconds and then I will get started. All right. So, yes, you don't need to have a wide array of colours. You could say just your rainbow colours, going from your red, orange, yellow, green. Let's see what else is in there, blue, purple, those kinds of colours. So we're going to be looking at those today. Okay, so I'm going to say let's get started now. Whoever is going to join in either later on replay will be able to join in then. Okay, so what do people love? They crave the feeling of feeling alive, a feeling of connection. not the kind that where you're buzzing all of the time through with nervous energy, of course not, but the kind where you feel at ease, at peace, but at the same time you kind of feel that elixir of life, wouldn't you say? So my objective here today is to give you a greater insight to what's coming up with my 4-part series, but also to give you that experience, as I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, a mini experience, shall we say. So creating a space for yourself, finding a connection with colour, with materials, whatever you have at hand, but I'm going to help you to connect with those, how they relate to you, and your own inner colours, helping you to feel relaxed, grounded. That's the purpose of therapeutic art, allowing you to merge with it, becoming one with it, is the meditation of art. And it will lead you into a world of discovery, rediscovery of yourself. And sometimes you might find that you discover things that you didn't even know existed. So please excuse me whilst I check on the laptop back and forth here. This is something I haven't done in ages, so I do need to check every once in a while. And as I mentioned, I've made copious notes so I don't miss anything during this bit of time that we've got together. So therapeutic art, I would say, is quite different to art therapy. Art therapy tends to do a lot of analytics. There's talking involved, talking about feelings. Whilst we might do a little bit of that, the focus is not on that. It's more in the connection and getting into the flow. So this is not a class on technique. I'm not going to be teaching you how to paint and how to draw. But I might give you a little bit of guidance at some point. So since art in combination with meditation gets you into that receiving mode of getting in touch with art materials you feel drawn to, it's getting you in touch with yourself, your intuitive self, that inner child at times, that inner creative, that the imagination that is a part of you. And it enables you to explore your feelings in different ways so that you can relax in new ways. And it helps you to create a safe space for yourself. So I always say to my clients, please don't worry, if you're not an artist, if you're new to this, it's not about, the end result necessarily. I know that sometimes, people like to have something pretty or satisfying in their hands at the end of the day. But, a page with some splurges of colour, if you're connecting with them, if you're relating to them in certain ways that are really meaningful to you, will give you that satisfaction, will give you the release, will give you the inspiration for whatever comes next. Of course, if you want to dive deeper into the subconscious blocks of limiting beliefs and other stresses and things, then I would suggest perhaps talking for a one-to-one session to see what's really working and not working for you and what you would like to achieve. So, what's coming up? What am I going to be doing in each session for the 4-part series? Well, next week starts with the title of Connection. And we're going to be doing a little bit of that in a few minutes. So I'll be taking you through a connection of breath in particular. Breath and where you feel that breath within your body movement through the meditation. Your connection to colour, because colour means something different to each and every one of us. So whilst we've learned that colours such as blue might be relaxing, it might actually have a very different feel and definition for somebody else. It might be that green is something that is annoying for somebody, whilst for somebody else they're connecting with nature and feeling at peace. So just remember that colour and shape and texture, it's unique to each and every one of us. And each of us sees colour differently. So how I see blue, how I see green or yellow or orange will be different to the shades and the contours and the density that you see it with as well. So connection with shape is to do with experience as well. So often I will ask somebody that if they are experiencing a particular emotion, if they were to give it a shape, what would that shape be like? If it's something that isn't pleasant, is it jagged? Is it sharp at the edges? Is it round and annoying? See, round for some is soothing. For others, it's boring, monotonous. So you see the differences between us. And the shapes of art materials themselves that you'll be using, of course, comes into it too. And you'll be able to determine what that will be for you. So in the second week, I've labelled the second week Intentional Scribble. When scribble is liberating. So I don't know whether you've ever heard of neurographic art, but this is wonderful. You can literally scribble on a page, make it personal to you, soften all of the edges so there's nothing sharp, no sharp right angles. Begin to bring colour into it and in ways that you may not have experienced before, personalising it in a creative way, making it beautiful for you, and I'll be guiding you through that. So that will require some direction, and I've got a theme that I'm going to be working with in that second week that will be very personal to you. And all of this will be held on Zoom, and so you will have the choice of sharing at points if you wish to. If you don't wish to, that is fine as well. Week 3 is all about light and how we relate to it. Light that is around us, within our environment, that's above us, below, yes. The contrasts and shadows again, and relating those to the illusion of all contrast within life and our surroundings. This morning, in fact, I posted a photograph of what greeted my eyes when I opened the window when I woke up this morning and pulled the blind up, and it was really quite magnificent. Some might look at it and say, well, it's just some clouds with the sun coming through, but it really, the contrasts and how the sun was shining through the clouds really struck me. And at first I was feeling very tired and draggy, but as soon as I saw that and I felt the fresher air, you know, enter the room and breathing that in, it just lifted my energy so much. So we'll be working with light and how we can bring it in to ourselves in a cathartic way, because we'll be working with pastels, with chalk pastels then, and that's quite a different experience as well. And we'll be using light within our meditations too. And the last one I've called Colourful Life, and that's where I really would like to bring you into that exciting array of colours that are available to us all around in nature. And one of the things that I will be advocating is that you actually get some watercolour pencils like these ones that I've suggested, whether it's the Bic ones or a different brand, it doesn't matter. As I say, they don't have to be expensive. They just have to work with water, and I'll be explaining how we use those, because you can create a merge of colours by colouring and going over with water and really creating some dynamic effects with that. So you'll be creating your own vision of colour, igniting life into it. We'll be doing that, and experimenting with different textures as well, materials, and creating something that is really pleasing and uplifting for you, so that you've got it within your environment to look at anytime you wish. You might end up with a masterpiece that you can frame, and which will remind you of this experience of discovery of yourself and working through different things. So really that's the overview of the 4-part series. And very briefly, I'm going to take you through what you will need. Not much different to what I've already explained for this morning. So things like watercolour pencils, you might want to have some watercolours, very simple ones. I mean, Reeves do, you know, a nice little box. This is a well-used one. You know, it just gives you a good selection of colour. Pastels, some chalk pastels. I've just purchased a new box with this Faber-Castell. Now, you don't need as many as 48, so 12 colours would be perfectly fine, and they're just little chalk pastels that you'll have a really lovely experience with when we go through that exercise. Of course, here I've got a huge selection of colours, but we'll be working primarily with different shades of grey. We'll have white and black, of course. As I mentioned, that particular session is going to be quite cathartic and really releasing and bringing life into you. So the other things, just some regular colouring pencils, or just some regular pencils, whether, you know, it's an HB pencil, 2B, you know, soft, hard, just the usual kind of thing. I've got some good rubbers, that, you know, just a regular eraser, pencil sharpener, of course, all of the usual things that you would expect to bring. And let's see, what else have I got on my list? Yeah, if you like Sharpies are great for the neurographic art we'll be doing. And some regular, you know, paper. Now, if you're going to be painting, you do need at least a bit of watercolour paper. So this Canson that I showed earlier at the beginning is really useful. And that's about it. But I will be giving you a proper list. So if you're registering for the program, for the course, you will get that list emailed to you. I think it's time. So I'd like to, you know, bring this experience to you so that you are going to have a taste of this. So let's just check here. I had a couple of people coming in and out. Right, okay. So let's get down to the experience of it. Now's a really good time to reach for those colouring pencils for yourself with the paper. And I'm hoping that you will have the colours that I'm going to refer to. And I'd like you to create a circle of small circles, but do it in the order that I'm going to describe right now. Now, if you do not have any materials with you, that's okay as well, because you can visualize it, and then later on, when you do have the opportunity to go through this again, because it will stay as a replay on my page here, you can repeat this. Then you can go through it, you know, with the physicality of it. All right. So as I say, if you don't have any materials right now, just go through the visualization. Now, we're going to start with red. And red, a small circle of red at the top of your page. And I'm going to demonstrate myself with my own paper. Oh, I'm just discovering a little something that I began to use before. Oh, and I will get to show that to you in a little bit. So just begin by colouring in, creating a small circle of red, okay, at the top, and just colour it in. And I'd like you, as you're doing this, to really just look into that colour and notice. Notice the colour, notice how you're colouring it. For the purpose of this exercise right now, we don't need to take a lot of time, but that's just a little red circle, okay? Now, we're going to be going in a clockwise direction. I don't know what that looks like on the camera as I'm doing that, so. And at the 2 o'clock point, I'd like you to make a purple circle, okay? So let's see if I've got purple in here. The colours seem to be a little bit mixed up, so. And just give yourself this little bit of time to start to quieten. Do your purple circle. Of course, on screen, it's going to be looking the other way round, isn't it? And at the 4 o'clock point, I'd like you to use blue, a blue circle. I might not have quite the right blue myself, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this. So I've got my blue. And at 6 o'clock, green. Are you noticing what these colours are and what they represent for you? So green. Got my green. Then at 8 o'clock, you're going to be doing yellow, okay? I've got quite a bright one. So yellow. And the last one, orange. And that's going to be at 10 o'clock. You've probably guessed that by now. So I've got my circle of colours. And you might well notice that these are not just rainbow colours. They're also the chakra colours. So as you were doing that, I'm just wondering, you know, whether you were beginning to notice yourself which one or two you were drawn to. So now that you have finished that circle, I'm going to take you through a short meditation, and I hope it's okay and that you've got a couple of extra minutes, because we didn't get started until about 5 past. So if you've got that extra 5 minutes, I'm going to give that to you at the end here so we can really get through this experience. So put your hands down on your lap now, on your thighs. Make sure your feet are flat. I'm going to just move out a little bit myself. On the floor, about shoulder width apart, maybe just that little bit wider. And close your eyes. If you don't feel comfortable in closing your eyes, just allow your gaze just to go down, okay? And we're going to be doing some deep breathing now. Gentle but deep. The kind where, you know, you can feel that you can let go. Let your shoulders drop, your jaw drop, allowing your out breath to be longer than your in breath, so that you focus on really stretching that out breath, perhaps even stopping at a little point, not holding it in, but just not breathing in that moment. And I'm just going to give you an example. Because the more you'll be able to do that, the more you'll be able to let go, of that chatter in the mind and whatever tension might still be in your body. So let's have a go at this. I'm going to count into the count of 4 and then count out 4, hold it, and then another 4 before we do the next in-breath. So let's do this together. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, stop, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, and again, in, 2, 3, 4, stop, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, and just continue to do this of your own accord. If you're not used to meditating, that's okay. We're just focusing on the breath right now, creating space. And when the moment is right for you, maybe put a question out. Maybe glance just one more time at that wheel of colour and notice which colour you're zoning in on. Then close your eyes again and notice if you see that colour somewhere in your body. Where in your body do you notice either movement or stagnation? Where in your body do you notice that something is either stuck or not settling? Where in your body do you notice the colour that you were drawn to? And just allow that colour to spread within you, to expand, because that is the colour that your body needs right now. And this will help you to ground. And to make the grounding even stronger, as you breathe out, imagine roots from your feet going right down into Mother Earth. And on each out-breath, allow the roots to go deeper and deeper through the layers. Is that colour going with you? Is it connecting with the earth? And as you reach right down into the centre, notice in the centre of the earth is a beautiful, beautiful golden elixir that you're now going to draw on, giving thanks to Mother Earth, allowing that golden elixir to come up through the roots, through your roots, coming up to bring sunshine from beneath, golden liquid to light you up with a soft glow of energy. And allow that to penetrate and come and expand through your body and all the way up, and allow that to go up to the sky, so that you are sharing with the universe as well. And feel that warmth, and as you feel the warmth, just take a lovely big sigh. And if you'd like to do that again, take another sigh. and notice the colours within you now. Is that colour that you first focused on, is it still prominent or has it dissipated? Has it merged with the gold? As you take a few more breaths, let's take one more breath together as we gently come back into the room and listen. Listen to the sounds of the colour. Listen to what it's saying to you. And look at your colour wheel. And as we finish, what I'd like you to do, open your eyes. If you have space beneath your colour wheel, you can use that space. Or you can use another page. And on that page, I would like you to just do a little outline of a body. It can be really, really rough. It doesn't even, don't worry about it not being perfect. You could just do an outline of a head, shoulders, arms. Even if you have to do a stick man, it doesn't matter. A snowman, shape. That body, that shape represents you. And I would like you to place the colour that you were really drawn to, in your case, John, purple, and colour in that diagram of where that purple, where you felt the purple within you, and what that purple represents. And see where else you would like to see it within your body. Now, if the colour is positive, that is wonderful. With purple, for instance, it also resonates with our third eye, indigo. Violet with the crown chakra. If any of those colours represented something negative for you, what I'd like you to do just for one moment is look at your circle of colour and notice what the opposite is, in the exact opposite direction. So for instance here, got purple and there is yellow, orange and blue, red and green. And in the colour world, these are our direct opposites. So what we can do is counteract whatever negative association may have been there with the opposite, and think about what the opposite can mean to whatever the negative was. And then you can fill your diagram of what is a representation of you, and fill it with that opposite. As we come to a close, I'd like you to really think about how you can experiment with this. To use meditation first to get into that colour, and to use it to draw on new and vibrant things for you that are important. Think about what really brings joy to you and what colour might come up for you with that joy, and place it into parts of your body and visualize that filling your body, but also put it into your diagram, or literally just fill a page and perhaps create a shape around the colors that you are using. So I hope you found that interesting. As I said, this is just a little taster. And I'd love to get your feedback as to what you found particularly of connection to you with this little exercise, and let me know whether it's something that you'd like to experience more of. So I'm going to call it a day for today and wish you a day of colour, creation, music, art, therapeutic art, meditation in combination with each other. Truly powerful. So that's it from me for now. Please get in touch if you'd like to know more, and I look forward to seeing what you'd like to share or just speaking with you. Okay,